The heavy oak doors groaned softly as Penelope pushed them open, stepping into the dim foyer of the Blackwood estate. The air was thick with the musk of aged wood and forgotten memories, mingling with the faint scent of decaying leaves wafting through cracked window panes. A vast chandelier, its crystals dulled and cobwebbed, hung precariously from the vaulted ceiling, casting fractured shadows across the worn marble floor. Beneath her polished leather shoes, the floorboards whispered secrets with every careful step, echoing in the cavernous space that had once hosted grand celebrations and whispered conversations long since silenced. From the very first nights in the mansion, Penelope was unsettled by strange dreams, vivid, haunting visions that felt like memories, yet they weren't her own. She saw long-forgotten halls, elegant figures in candlelight, and faces she had never met, though they stirred a deep, inexplicable familiarity within her. At breakfast, she told Leonard of these dreams, describing them in fragmented detail. He listened quietly, a shadow passing over his features, before gently dismissing it as the mind adjusting to a new home. Days passed in a blur of dust and labor. Leonard's absences grew longer, his presence reduced to the faint echo of his footsteps and the lingering scent of his cologne. Penelope found solace in the slow restoration of the house, stripping wallpaper with trembling hands, revealing layers of paint that told of forgotten decades, polishing tarnished brass fixtures, and breathing life back into the silent rooms. Yet the dreams persisted, becoming more vivid, more insistent. She began to wake in the night with flashes of faces, names, and events that felt foreign yet intimately familiar. It was beneath the grand staircase, one rainy afternoon, that she discovered the secret. The floor beneath the thick Persian rug felt uneven, and with a tentative push, she dislodged a loose wooden panel. A narrow passage revealed itself, steep, winding downward into darkness. Grasping a candle, Penelope descended, the flickering flame casting tall, jittery shadows on cold stone walls slick with dampness. At the passage's end, she uncovered a cluster of rooms, each filled with relics that both fascinated and unsettled her. Among the objects were letters, trinkets, and delicate garments that had belonged to Margaret, items that matched the recurring faces from her dreams. The visions that had haunted her since arriving now surged with overwhelming intensity, as though the house itself was guiding her memories to awaken. Portraits lined the walls, dozens of them, depicting a woman whose visage mirrored her own with uncanny precision. Each painting captured different moments in time: youthful innocence, tender smiles, and haunting melancholy, all belonging to someone who could not be her, yet was unmistakably the same. Penelope's fingers trembled as she ran them over a faded diary resting on a dust-laden table. Its pages whispered secrets of centuries past. She read of love and loss, of darkness that crept like a shadow over the Blackwood line. Among the brittle documents were birth and death certificates, records that spanned centuries, yet always bore the same names, the same faces, the same tragedies. Her mind reeled when she found the final piece, a journal written in delicate, looping handwriting, revealing Leonard's true nature. He was a vampire, a being cursed with immortality, doomed to wander through the ages, searching for the reincarnation of Margaret, his first and only true love. The women he married across decades were all reflections of Margaret, souls reborn in different bodies but bearing the same face. A cold shiver ran down Penelope's spine. The house seemed to close in around her as she grappled with the nightmare she had uncovered. Leonard's charm, his absence, his mysterious demeanor, all pieces of a puzzle that now fit together in terrifying clarity. Yet, despite the horror, a strange compulsion rooted her to the spot. Was she truly a victim, or a part of a cycle she could not escape? Could love transcend even this cursed fate? Her thoughts were interrupted by the sudden sound of footsteps echoing down the stairs. Leonard appeared, his pale face unreadable, eyes gleaming with an ageless sorrow. "You found the truth," he said softly, his voice both a confession and a plea. Penelope met his gaze, the storm of fear and fascination swirling within her. All these visions, these dreams, she whispered, her voice trembling. They weren't mine. They were someone else's memories, weren't they? Leonard nodded slowly. No, they were yours, Margaret's. Her spirit kept on reincarnating across centuries, yet the curse clouded her recollection. Until now, you've seen her life, felt fragments of her soul awaken within you. That is why you're different. Penelope lowered the candle, her hands shaking. And the curse, the endless cycle? How does it end? Leonard stepped closer, his pale eyes softening with a rare vulnerability. When I first met Margaret, she was my light, my salvation. But a demon's curse took her from me, ending her life and binding mine to eternal night. Each reincarnation of her soul I encountered was unaware of the past, and so the cycle persisted, until she reincarnated as you, Penelope. Something within you remembered. The memories, the love, the sorrow, all of it resurfaced. The bond we shared has finally shattered the curse. Penelope's breath hitched as the realization settled. She remembered everything. The centuries of longing, the marriages, the tragedies, all merging into a coherent truth that belonged not just to Leonard, but to her as well. Leonard reached out, taking her hand gently yet firmly. The choice is yours now. Walk with me in the night, bound by love that has survived centuries, or step back into the life you knew, leaving me to my solitude. Her heart pounded with a rush of emotions. Awe, fear, and a deep, aching recognition. I remember everything, she whispered, her voice trembling. All of it, you that curse us. Leonard's eyes softened, a mixture of relief and sorrow flickering across his ageless features. Then you understand. The cycle ends because you remember, because your heart has never truly forgotten me. The mansion seemed to hold its breath as Penelope reached for him, feeling centuries of love and loss merge within her. The shadows of the past, the weight of darkness, and the promise of a future entwined with him stretched before her. And for the first time, she embraced it fully.